Hello and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to go over the best and worst Hyundai Kia cars that you could buy. All right, first up, we have the Optima, which is the worst one for the Kia brand. Now, they have a lot of engine problem, which is their main problem. The engine shutting off or having a loud knock. They have a lot of electrical issues, suspension issues. Their suspension aren't as tough as other brands. They have a lot of caliper issues. So if you own a Optima from the year 2011 and above, eventually you're going to have to replace all 4 calipers. At the Kia dealership that I worked at, we replaced a lot of Optima calipers that even the supplier, the parts store that we worked with, eventually told us that they ran out of remanufactured calipers and that we would have to wait a few days until they could replenish. That's because we were doing a lot of Optima brakes and then trying to compress the piston, and the piston would be just flat out seized. And that would happen a lot on the Optimas. So the owners would come in for an $800 brake job all around, and at the end they would have to walk out with a $2,000 bill just because we had to replace all 4 calipers and then after that flush the system as well. They have a high failure rate in their transmissions, so I've seen a few of that. They have a common knocking noise when it comes to their steering wheel. So in the steering column, they have this rubber bushing that fails, and then every time you turn left or right, it makes this really loud knocking noise. A lot of customers get scared because they think their whole column is falling apart. I believe it was the 2016 year where they have a lot of failures with the gas filler neck that need to be replaced. And the filler neck is pretty complicated because we would have to drop the rear subframe a bit, so it would take a few hours to replace that. Now, that 2.4 liter engine in the Optima is shared with the Sportage, the Sorento, the Sonata, and the Tucson. Now, these other ones don't have as many problems as the Optima, but they do share the same engine issues, which engine knock or complete engine failure that will eventually need replacement. So if you own one of these cars, you could call your local dealership and see if you qualify for a brand new engine at no cost. Next up, we have the Forte. This one is a bit better, but they still do have the 2-liter engine, which is catastrophic. Same thing with the 2.4 liter. The 2-liter on the Kia Forte, Kia Soul, and Hyundai Elantra have a really high failure rate due to engine knocking and engines being seized. Even if you had perfect oil change intervals, these engines would just completely fail eventually. The second generation Kia Fortes also had a lot of problems with water entering the left taillight. Due to the failed foam gaskets, a lot of rainwater would come in and fill the whole taillight with water. Usually that would be covered under warranty. And the Forte shared a lot of suspension problems with the Optima, just because how cheap Kia and Hyundai, a lot of their suspension parts aren't made very well. Now onto the best cars for Kia Hyundai, which is going to be the Rio and the Accent. They have the best engine and transmission combos. For the Rio, we've seen that one the least in the shop. The only problem with the Rio is eventually you're going to replace both rear calipers. That's a common problem that we saw with the Rio when they came in. But other than that, the Rio overall is pretty good. We've seen a very few problems with these. The second best one for Kia is going to be the Sedona. Once again, the best engine and transmission combos. We've seen very few engine failures and transmission failures when it comes to the Sedona. We've just seen very few of them at the dealership, so they would only come in for regular maintenance and that was it. So if you're in the market for a used Kia Hyundai product, I would suggest to look at the Rio, the Accent, and the Sedona if ever you're going to purchase one of these. And by all means, avoid the Optima and the Forte if you don't want a bunch of headaches in your life. All right, that's going to be it for this short video, guys. Hope you find it helpful. Hope you find it valuable. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.